Oh yeah, we've got those genius YouTube gaming tips to save you time. The most valuable resource that you have as a content creator is your time. Obviously, money helps down the road, getting better gear, being able to buy different, software platforms, getting editors, getting thumbnail designers, etc. But what you're really looking for is increasing the amount of content you can make and spending as much time as you can making YouTube videos about gaming, right? That's why you got into this. And today we're going to just kick it off with our first tip out of 12 today. You want to be recording at least one video every single time you live stream. Don't waste the opportunity of going live and then getting content out of it. Whenever you go live, you're basically dumping time into a black hole, essentially dumping your effort into a black hole that isn't going to give you any yield once the live stream is over. So what sort of content is going to come out of that live stream afterwards? I mean, Perrin, I'd like you to speak to this really quick here, but live streamers often, they stream, they get some growth, maybe the growth goes down on the streams. Where's that long-term growth coming from? Can you expand on that? Live streaming can be a black hole of effort that may not give you results.
Yeah, you can grind and grind and grind as a live new, and if you're not getting new, and even if you are getting some new viewers in the door, how are you really expanding the audience and how are you keeping them there long term? Right now, one of the only ways to do that is to utilize YouTube's algorithm to pick up new views to then convert into live stream viewership. It's very, very hard to pile those on and to grow those in a quick way over time. So you're either grinding for just concurrent viewers, or on YouTube, if you're putting out video content, you can actually build your total viewership and total community and brand, etc. as a whole. So this is why we're focused on YouTube today, is because it's central to any gaming creator's growth, either live streamer or just content creator in general. You have to understand YouTube and you have to not make these mistakes if you want to do this successfully.
Yeah, and let me make it even more clear about what I'm talking about, like what guys like iFerg are doing. When you go live, let's say you go live for about 2 hours, let's say, or an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours. Before you go into that live stream, and this is what iFerg does every time, he knows what videos he's going to get out of his stream. He knows what, going into it, what the clips are going to be on his clips channel. If you want to pull up his clips channel right here so people can check that out. He knows what the clips are maybe will end up being. He knows ahead of time what those titles of the content may end up being on his other channels later. So what you can do is you can very deliberately go into the live stream and know, I have this title, this concept for my content that's going to come out of this thing. You can tell everybody in live chat, hey, wave hi to YouTube. We're going to record a YouTube video. You literally hit record during your stream and then just deliver the entire video to the camera. Maybe you doing some tips, some tricks, commenting on something, showing some new weapons, etc. And then you just end the video and hit record again on your Stream Deck or in your OBS, and boom, you've got a video that's ready to rock and post on your YouTube channel, because those YouTube videos are the only thing that's actually going to grow you. iFerg Clips is a huge part of his strategy. We want you to take inspiration from that, but we've got 11 more genius tips to save your time coming right up after we pay the bills. This podcast is sponsored by Restream. Why live stream to one platform when you can simultaneously live stream to every platform to discover new audiences faster using Restream.io?
I feel like this is one that we've gotten really good at just over the past couple weeks. Number 2 on our list is plan your videos at least a week and a half. We actually took a week off, as you might have noticed, I think 2 weeks ago, and we just did all planning all week. And we've got like a month worth of videos and podcast ideas ready to go. Perrin, do you have that up on the screen?
I do. So here's our pipeline. This is pretty cool. We just started doing this recently, but realizing we had to plan out ahead all of our topics, have our topics really well thought out. In fact, we have like a whole idea pool where we have different title formats that we can mix with different topics, and we come up with the best ones together. We meet together on Discord and come up with the ones we like, and we plan them ahead. Then we get the thumbnails planned out in advance, so we have everything ready to go on our stream day. This is not why you don't see us stream on Mondays, because that's a planning day. So you should take a planning day in your content calendar too, because if you don't plan and you're just going live, or if you don't plan and you're just trying to record, you're wasting your time. You're not getting nearly as much out of it. Most of the effectiveness of your growth is going to come from planning and strategizing, and then executing based off of that strategy. You just execute without a strategy, you're going nowhere. You're just letting the wind take you wherever it may go, and it might not be blowing in the direction that you want to go. So plan out like we're doing here. Build it. If you want to copy our spreadsheet here, copy the spreadsheet if it helps you.
We'll break down the pieces. You've got the title of the video here on the left. You've got your target date of where the video is going to be released next to that. You'll have a little slot where you can plug in your thumbnail. That's going to be a sneak preview. That's an upcoming tip. And then we've actually got a document where we outline the majority of the content that's going to be in the video ahead of time before we go live. And the reason why we do this is because it helps us come up with better ideas. It helps us come up with unique value that we're going to be providing you as an audience. You guys need to be thinking about this. How many times am I going to freaking tell you this? In 2021, being unique is everything. Having a higher level of quality and more value than your competitors is everything in 2021. You're competing against 40 million, literally, gaming creators on YouTube. How are you going to break through? All those other dum-dums are just going live and hoping it works out. They're making maybe some kind of thumbnail. They're hoping people want to watch them go from 0 to legendary, or help them, watch them on their journey as they learn a game, or chill and be a part of their community. While 99% are doing that terrible strategy, you can be using your brain and using planning time to get ahead of them and to leapfrog the 99% so that you can become the 1%. This is something that we've embraced. This is something that top creators do regularly, and you have to take this mindset on. Planning and thinking is more important than the actual creating itself. Plan, and then the content itself will be exponentially better. Back to you, Ross.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, the importance, what we used to do is actually, we'd literally show up like 20 minutes before the show and be like, all right, boys, what are we talking about today? And that was a mistake because, and more importantly, everything you guys just said was important, but also just to add on to that, giving yourself time, knowing what you're going to be talking about for a week or a month in advance gives you time to mentally start planning out. We planned these out 2 weeks ago. I've already got ideas for episodes we're going to be doing in 3 weeks. Going live 20 minutes,
Genius.
And planning afterwards, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're not giving yourself enough time to really properly think it through and think about how you want to approach it instead of just jumping on in. Now, sometimes jumping on in can be a good thing, and there's obviously going to be occasions where we just have to jump in and do it. But do yourself a service. Let your brain work. The whole point you got into this was creativity. It's a lot harder to be creative in a 20-minute time period before you go live compared to when you have 3 weeks to plan it out. Number 3 on our list is create your thumbnail before you record your video. Ooh, I like this one, Awol.
Yeah, this one is great. So this is one I used on all of our Mega Media Corps. Oops, went to the wrong scene there. All of our evil Mega Media Corps that we worked on. TGN, our World of Warcraft channel, our Minecraft channel, our Overwatch channel, our Star Wars channel, etc. Before we recorded the video, we would come up with a great title and ensure that the video had a great concept that would actually work. And so we're taking a look, we keep looking at iFerg as an example here, but don't just record a video and then hope later on you can make a good thumbnail for it. That is a recipe for failure. That is what noobs do. And I've been tasked in my professional life of having people go out and go shoot expensive videos for the top brands in the world. And then they come back to us and they say, this video is really high production quality. Why don't you make a thumbnail for it now? And then I look at the video and I'm like, there's no good thumbnail I can make for this. And they go, what? Are you kidding me? I thought you were the thumbnail guy. I thought you were the YouTube guy. Of course you can make a good thumbnail for my high quality video. And I told them, you didn't even think about the thumbnail before you recorded it. There's no simple way to communicate the concept of that video in a thumbnail. I'm so sorry, but you guys didn't think about the YouTube version of this when you recorded it. You just made a video and hoped it would work out. So the reason why we told you to plan your content ahead of time is you come up with the title, you come up with a concept for your video that would be conducive, listen to this part, that would be conducive to making a great thumbnail, okay? If your concept doesn't have like the thumbnail right itself, if the thumbnail doesn't just jump to your brain as soon as you have the title and the concept of the video, then it's a bad concept. Scratch that concept, change that concept, and try something different. You need to come up with a concept that is conducive to a good thumbnail. And if it isn't, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, no matter what you do, if you don't have a great thumbnail on YouTube, people are not going to click, and they are not going to watch. And the top two, what are the top two things that trigger the algorithm on YouTube? Obviously click-through rate and audience retention. And so that planning and then making sure that you have a thumbnail ahead of time is good. Second thing I want to add to that is that if you are planning your content ahead of time, you can actually maybe in the game that you're playing, or when you're on camera, take a screenshot of yourself with a particular face, or take a screenshot of some moment in the game, some character in the game beforehand or while you're recording that you can use in the thumbnail later. If you have an idea of what that thumbnail is going to be like before you release the video, you can maybe capture that awesome screenshot. Like Cyberpunk 2077 is a great example, right? And other games are a great example. They have photo modes. You can take a minute in the game and use the photo mode to get the right shot for the thumbnail. Think thumbnail, thumbnail, thumbnail. Mr. Beast is another example I like to talk about and I like to use. All of his videos, he's got an amazing shot of him in front of whatever the bit is that he's doing on his channel, right? He plans that ahead of time. He does photo shoots on set. Professional photographer doing photo shoots with him on set, specifically and only for the thumbnail. That's what the pros do. Back to you, Ross. Ross is muted.
There we go. Number 4 on the list, make your recorded content as close to the final video as possible to minimize editing time. Now, I feel like this is a little bit easier said than done. How do you get into the rhythm of doing that to where you can just kind of move through it quickly without actually kind of distracting yourself by focusing on, here's how I'm going to make this recording part of my live stream?
I think this is where like live streaming skill comes into play. So if you were doing the strategy where you're going to think about, you have your video concept, you're going to live stream, and you're going to during your live stream record that segment as a YouTube video later. You know, as a live streamer, you can learn to kind of concise your content and do your edit that way. So you have to do less editing later. But some of it also just comes down to practicing in front of the camera.
Creators, welcome to my Twitch.
Doing these recordings over and over and over again, knowing what you do that normally causes you to have to stop and do an edit, and knowing how to work through it. Scripting can help you as well in this, so you have less breakpoints where you would need to edit and trim things out, and you can just get through it as quickly as possible. But brevity is the most important thing. Being short, sweet, to the point, no long intros. Hey guys, yo, this is Astral. What's up? How are you all doing? No, cut all that shit out and just start and get right into it. And then when you end, just end and cut there. You don't need to have this glorious intro or this glorious outro. Just give the content as concise as possible and as short as possible. And the most efficient route will always win you the prize. It's going to take practice. It's going to take rehearsing. If you go live and try to do it live, that's a good way to kind of light the fire under you and learn how to do it when you can't make the mistake, when you don't have the value of editing because it's all live, like we're doing right now. We can't go back and edit this, and I guess for a YouTube version we can, but for those of you watching everywhere else, we can't edit this. So practice that way. Eventually you should get to a point where you don't have to do any edits and you can just do the recording, 2 to 3 minutes, you're done. Put it together, put a little bit of an edit together if you need to, or sometimes if you're really, really good at it, you won't have to edit it at all. AWOL, you have anything else to add on that one?
Yeah, I do. So all my content I do on AWOL Digital, my channel there, to save time on my channel, I do no edits on any of my content. I do one take. I start the video telling people what the video is about. I tell them the value that they're going to get out of the video. I deliver it with no fluff, and then I hit end, and the video ends. No edit required. You can program all of that in. You guys can see my studio shot here. You can program all of that in Stream Deck. You can program that in with hotkeys in OBS. You could switch between your scenes live. There's the technology right now for you to essentially edit your video live while you're doing it. I mean, all these scene changes I'm doing right now during the stream, all of this, I don't edit the full versions of this podcast to go up on our channel. It's all live right here. All these cuts are live. That's it. So you can do all of your content live with live switching on a Stream Deck or hotkeys to save you time as well. Especially if you plan, going back to the point we made earlier, if you plan your content ahead of time, then that can allow you to very quickly understand which points you're going to be delivering and how to deliver them, similar to what iFerg is doing on their channel and what we're doing on this episode right now. We know all 12 genius time-saving tips that we're going to tell you about YouTube gaming before the stream starts that keeps us on the rails, and there's not a lot of and let's see, let me think of the next one, or let me think about pulling up that thing on the screen to talk about the next one. We already know exactly what we're going to do next. Right, Ross?
That's right. And that's why I had my mic muted, because I'm a professional. By the way, we are giving away a gaming creator bundle sweepstakes. It's full of awesome stuff. We're giving away a Rodecaster Pro podcast production studio, a Procaster microphone, professional studio, boom arm microphone shock mount, a pop filter, Restream IO standard license for 3 months, and a Tubebuddy Legends license for 3 months. It is awesome. This is an $1,100 value. Go to the link. I just dropped it in the comments. All you have to do to enter is click that link and then follow the instructions on there. And you can win an awesome, awesome gear guide that is going to take your production quality to the next level. Number 5 on our list is the first investment that you need to make, since you aren't going to have to, buy production equipment anymore because we're giving it away. The first investment you're going to have to make is hiring an editor or thumbnail designer. Talk about the importance of this, AWOL, for a second. And I guess this kind of is going to lead into why are thumbnails so important?
Yeah, that makes sense. So obviously YouTube thumbnails are titles are really, so the concept of your video, think of that at the high level on your channel. You have to come up with a great, unique concept that communicates value to your audience, number 1. Number 2, you have to come up with a great title for your video that's really catchy, preferably under 50 characters, that is very clickable. Then based on that amazing concept and that amazing title, you have to come up with a killer thumbnail that passes the caveman grunt test. So what is the caveman grunt test? So basically, assume that when people are scrolling through YouTube and they're looking through thumbnails and search results and what have you, that they are a caveman. They are stupid dum-dums with a way below average IQ, and they just don't understand anything about the world at all. That's the grunt test. And so when they're looking through their feed, they're scrolling through thumbnails and they're looking to see what it is that they're going to click on. They need to understand quickly within, that's your face. I understand what you're all about. There we go. They need to understand within less than a second, maybe a half a second, exactly what that video is about at a glance, and they go, ugh, and they understand. Even if they know nothing at all about the topic. That's what you need to be thinking about with your thumbnails. And so the point of telling you that is a designer can help you create simple thumbnails where the text stands out and pops, where they can help you simplify your thumbnails into 3 elements or less, etc., so that they can pass the grunt test. Because at the end of the day, the way people are actually browsing YouTube, they're scrolling through their feed quickly, their suggested videos, their home feed search, and they're just gonna go right past 10 videos, 11 videos, 12 videos before they end up clicking one, right? Why did they end up clicking that one? Because it more effectively communicates the value of the video in a simple way that they can understand. Don't tell jokes in your thumbnails. Don't try to be clever with your thumbnails. Only just deliver exactly what the value is in the most simple possible way. And your first investment of hiring a graphic designer, and these thumbnails we're using on our most recent streams are a hired graphic designer, will drastically increase your click-through rate, and potentially, if they have good designs, and drastically increase your performance over time on your channel. I'm already noticing with us hiring a graphic designer from my own personal channel, as well as Digital Drop, the video versions of these episodes are now getting a 12-13% click-through rate, whereas in the past, our episodes were getting a 6 or 7% click-through rate on the video versions, doubling our click-through rate effectively. Same concept for the thumbnail, essentially, but a professional designer has created them. And so you might be asking, well, I can't afford it. Well, I tell you what, as soon as you can afford a designer, and you can get people on Fiverr, if you can find a good designer to make them for $5 or $6 per thumbnail, it is the best investment that you can make in your channel, is hiring a graphic designer first, not the more gangster PC, not an insanely, expensive monitor. Nobody cares about that. Not a mouse and keyboard that'll make you better at Fortnite. Not, a custom alerts package for your live stream. No, a thumbnail designer will get you a higher click-through rate on your content. We've already drastically increased our click-through rate with our professional designer, and you guys should take that into consideration. Number 1 investment, first investment, after you have the basic gear that you need to get things done, get the graphic designer, get that click-through rate up. Then your second investment later, bonus tip, I guess, we don't have it here on the list, is to hire an editor so that you can help get that retention on your content up after that. Ross?
Yes, moving on. You know what, Perrin? When you're looking for video topic ideas or, good titles in general, is there something that you use that can be like a huge shortcut to creators?
You use a template and you base it off of successful ones you've had in the past. Like, look at your data Are you trying to bait me into an ad here? Am I missing that?
I'm trying to bait you into an ad here, but terrible bait, by the way.
Yeah. This is something that I use to get lots of ideas. We're talking about Tubebuddy, the plugin. Okay.
Ooh.
So here's something that, you can use your data and use what you've done already. But if you don't have anything, if you're starting from scratch, you can use Tubebuddy. And so Tubebuddy has a tool where you can just search up your topic, and I should be able to actually pull this up here and show you guys. We've showed this quite a number of times on the channel. You use the keyword explorer, and let's say you want to do Valheim. Valheim's hot right now, right? So Valheim, what can we look up at Valheim to create?
So hot right now.
Valheim's so hot right now. Well, just doing Valheim itself is actually already very good, but we can do Valheim gameplay. We can do tips and tricks. Let's see tips and tricks. Let's see if that's any good. That's not. So you can basically you can see if it's a good score for you in terms of search volume, which this one is poor. There's not a lot of search for this one. Competition, which there's not a lot of people making videos for this one, so that's good. And the total optimization strength. This is a starting point. This isn't going to be the end all be all. It's not going to give you topics that are going to win instantly, but it will help you refine your search. It will help you start out and get to a topic that can be more effective than if you were to just do this in your brain without any experience at all. So it's a good starting point. AWOL has an affiliate code here. If you go to tubebuddy.com/AWOLVS, you can save a little bit of money there, I believe. And we live by this tool, and this is one of the reasons why
die by this tool.
I was gonna say that too, but we haven't died yet. So we live and die by this tool, but we swear by it. At least there's more tools to Tubebuddy than just what I showed you. But this one is the one we love the most because it helps us brainstorm. It helps us fill out this podcast pipeline that we showed you earlier very, very effectively.
Makes sense. Really quick, just something to add on the Tubebuddy front that I want to go over is you may not have good ideas for your videos, or you may not know what to create. And so when you just type in the name of the game into Tubebuddy, and it's also got a video ideas tab on the side. And you can look and see, it'll literally show you the video searches, web searches, and it'll just algorithmically generate ideas for you to check out using the video ideas tab. Just great inspiration. It just feeds you ideas for your game, and you can start there. So many creators on my private paid clients only Discord server are using Tubebuddy just to generate ideas and to get new ones. It'll feed you 20 ideas, maybe 2 of them will be good, right? But the point is, you have to use less brain power to come up with concepts for your content and for your channel. And the less brain power you're using to come up with concepts, the better. So you can filter out bad concepts and just get straight to the good one, okay? So this helps do it actually does a lot of the thinking for you, and it does it based on actual numbers in the market and data in the market in terms of supply and demand, which is essentially the truth on how likely or not a video is to succeed. Back to you, Ross.
Moving on down our list, select 5 relevant tags, and then just move the hell on with your life. Why 5, AWOL?
It is kind of a random number. It's sort of based in reality, I'll be honest with you. But oh, hi, front page. We're on the front page of DLive. Hey, DLive, we're on the front page. Woo! Anyway, DLive team just let us know we got front page. So anyway, 5 is what YouTube said at some point was the relevant number of tags years ago. And what they've actually said more recently than that is that tags are only going to be helpful for folks that have misspellings of topic names and what have you. And that's all that it's actually going to do for you. So let's say, for example, Digital Drop Podcast is misspelled from time to time, and they spell it Digital Dump or Digital Drop or whatever it is. If there are common misspellings of the name of your brand or common misspellings of the name of the topic that you're covering, then the tags can be helpful in helping people discover your content. Also, you should only select extremely relevant search tags for your topic to help YouTube understand what your video is about. And that's something that it is somewhat helpful to do that. So let's say, for example, your title is maybe not the absolute clearest, let's say, in terms of exactly what the topic of your video is about. Your first 5 tags that you put into below your video, if you select tags that are just on the money, on the nose in terms of what the video is actually about, it'll help give YouTube indicators that it's very, very, very specifically only about this one thing, which will help it give you suggestions, browse features, and as well as search about that topic. You know what I'm saying? So let's say your topic of your video is like GTA 5 tips and tricks for 2021 or something like that, right? And let's say that's too generic, and maybe you're actually diving into some niche within that is that maybe could tap into the algorithm. Maybe you're only talking about racing, or you're focusing on racing. You could add tags to your video about GTA 5 racing, specifically racing tips, racing this, racing that, and it can help the algorithm understand what the content of your video is within that niche. Understood? Tags are not going to revolutionize your channel. Tags are not going to change the game. Tags are not going to grow you. Do not spend hours on them. Just generate 5 relevant tags and move on with your life as quickly as possible. YouTube has literally said publicly, tags matter very little in terms of the long-term performance of your content. Back to you, Ross.
Moving down on our list, create a title and thumbnail format that you can repeat. This is a time-saving episode after all, and I don't think that people really understand about how getting into the pattern and rhythm of doing the same thing over and over, how you become quicker and quicker and quicker at it, which ultimately is going to save you a lot of time. Am I right here?
Yes. Perrin, I know you've come up with some formats for your Mobile Legends streams that you've repeated over and over again, simple ones. And tell us a little bit about that process. I know you're short on time, right? You have a full-time job. You're trying to crank these out. What have you been doing to save time using templates?
So I just come up, whenever I do have time to think about titles, and I execute them, and I look at my data and see what does well, and then I just repeat them. Like there's a meme where guys will literally guys literally want one effing thing, and it's X. That was what I started my stream successfully with, and every once in a while I will go back to that template, that idea, and use that one whenever I create new topic ideas. And normally I brainstorm and I take the time to look around the internet, find something that I like that's normally funny, catchy, witty, and I try to take out different portions of it, like we have done in this document. Again, in our podcast pipeline, we take out portions of that and see if we can fit in what we want to, or we can template it by turning it into X topic things you might do wrong every day, right? We take out the X part, and now we've templated it, and we can use it multiple times by inserting whatever topic we want. Facebook gaming, chess, Dr. Disrespect. Template your best ideas and reuse them so that you're not reusing them identically, but you're taking the successful title that will work, that successful format, and replicating it in small, subtle, different ways, changing just one word, changing just one topic about it. We've logged all of our most successful, or the ones that we want to use here. For my own channel, I log all the most successful titles in a Google Doc, and then I'll go back. I've done much the same thing where I just put X in place of the topic, and I just change the topic. It's very, very simple. And you can just use your channel data to see and figure out which ones get the higher click-through rate, which ones get more views. Use those and say, hey, something happened there. Obviously, that title thumbnail combo worked. Log that somewhere that you can go back to it and use it again, and use it again, use it again, use it again, but change it up a little bit every single time. If you use the exact same title over and over again, nobody's going to come. It's the same content again. So you don't want to do that. So the idea is repetition, changing it with nuance, and templating titles, and putting time in advance of your stream of thinking about a good one. Spend time researching, spend time planning, and thinking about, what do you think is a good title? What's going to be catchy, but also what's going to work on YouTube. And you can again use Tubebuddy's keyword tool to help out with that as well.
That makes sense. And I'd like to add a bonus tip to that. As far as finding good titles and as far as finding good stuff, go to your favorite YouTubers, go to your favorite streams, and just go look through the historical video tab. Go look through the historical list of all of their streams they've done recently, and go take a look and see which titles did best and that you like the most. Take note of them, copy paste them, put them in a sheet of your own, and use those as a library of titles that you can take inspiration from for your own titles. You don't have to come up with completely original ideas, completely original titles from scratch every time. Take the best ones out there in the world, repurpose them and use them for yourself. And that can be a strategy for you guys to take your title and your topic game from like a 1 or a 2 out of 10 to a 3 or 4 or maybe even a 5 out of 10 instantly, just by recycling and reusing existing decent concepts that you've seen work within your niche. Then you can innovate from there. No need to be some sort of 17,000 IQ genius and try to come up with everything from nowhere. That is a strategy that is really difficult to hit. You probably don't have the skills or experience to pull that off yet. Ross?
Number 10, different channel for each topic from the get-go. Now, AWOL, I'm pretty sure that you mean here, you know, not a year into your YouTube journey, not 2 years, but from the beginning, create multiple channels.
That is correct. So let me tell you this. So when you, let me clarify that, because that can be super confusing to people. So when you're first starting as a YouTuber, you have no idea what's going to work for you as a YouTuber, right? So when you're at 0 or you're getting very little traction, you're making under $500 per month, let's say, as a YouTube gaming creator, you can release whatever kind of content across whatever games on your channel. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because you have not found a winner yet that is going to grow your channel and is going to help you be really successful. But once you do find a winner on your channel, you need to make that topic 80% of the content on that channel indefinitely. And so let's say that the game that you're covering is Valheim, this new hot game, and it's really blowing up your channel and it's your #1 performing content on your channel. What you're going to do at that point is you're going to make 80% of your content about that. And then any other games you're looking to cover, you're looking to go into, you can experiment with maybe 20% of your content slate on your channel with those other games. And if you find one that is actually doing well, make a different channel for that game. So what do I mean by that? You got to stay in your lane in the algorithm on YouTube. If you actually want to build a community around a particular topic, you can't mix games from this genre with games from that genre and try to meld those together on one channel. It just doesn't work anymore when you're trying to build your channel from scratch. One great example of this is a friend of the show. We had him on recently for an interview. Echo Gaming is the name of the channel. He's got his main Echo Gaming channel, which is primarily about Clash of Clans or town building mobile games, essentially. Then he made a separate channel just for Brawl Stars when he was experimenting with Brawl Stars. Here we go. Here's his channel right here on the screen. When he made a separate channel just for Brawl Stars, and then he made a separate channel just for Diablo Immortal. And because he knows that those audiences don't mix. And whenever he releases content, see, there's his Diablo Immortal channel right here. Whenever you release a Diablo Immortal video, for example, on a channel for people following Clash of Clans, you burn notifications, you burn subscribers, and you decrease the traction of your videos on that channel moving forward. Echo knows that. And so now moving forward, if he's deciding to go all in on any game, he just makes a new channel for it. You guys should too. So let's simplify what I just said. When you're starting, try out whatever. It doesn't matter. Nothing's working anyway. Try out whatever to figure out what's working. Once you have something that works, make that 80% of your content slate. Then 20% of your content slate can be to experiment. Once you have an experiment that actually works, then you break that off on a new channel. You don't change your main channel to that thing unless you're tired of your main game. And then you can build your empire wide. You're building lots of buildings in your empire, lots of castles, lots of skyscrapers, okay? For you to build out your empire wide rather than trying to build that one channel super tall, because that can be a recipe for disaster algorithmically. Ross?
Yes, this next one on our list is probably my favorite out of all of them, because oh my God, if you are a graphic designer or you're creating YouTube thumbnails, you know how horrific it is to try and go on Photoshop and remove for example, a picture of yourself to use in the thumbnail, removing that from another picture so you can have that transparent background and put whatever background you want behind it. It is horrifying. I hate it. Luckily, there is a free tool that you can use called remove.bg, where literally from the
not sponsored, by the way. We are not sponsored or compensated in any way to recommend this tool to you. We just fucking love it. Keep talking, Ross.
It's orgasmic. This tool is
Jesus.
From the time I know. From the time that you land on remove.bg to the time where you have a picture of yourself or whatever you need cut out so you can use in other images, I kid you not, 10 seconds. It's that simple. It's just drag, drop, hit the download button, you're done.
Seriously. So we highly recommend using this tool. It's freaking amazing. If you're sitting there erasing the edges around your face and your shoulders and your arms, if you're trying to cut out, you know, a picture of a game character or Ana in Overwatch, or you're trying to get that Call of Duty dude with his gun and you're just like erasing it for like 30 minutes to get it just right, remove.bg, done. Seriously, it works about, I'd say 80 to 90% of the time on the first try. Sometimes it can't differentiate the character from the background, especially if they're both really dark. So let's say you have like a character in black and there's a dark background. It has a hard time with that. So try to find images where the character is a different color than the background. It will just instantly and perfectly remove either your face, a character's face, from the background. Question in chat. Badger TV on Twitch asks, is it better than the remover on Canva? And I would say overall, yes, it is better than the remover on Canva is your question. Yes, it is. The remover on Canva is okay, works about, I'd say 60 to 70% of the time. The remove.bg background remover works even better than that and more often than that. I would not be surprised if this company got acquired by Adobe or Canva or some other company so they can use their background removal technology, because it is the best background removal technology I have ever seen on Earth. Not sponsored, not affiliate link. We make zero money off of telling you about it. We just effing love this tool. Back to you, Ross.
Yes, you can spend all your time, just go get all your pictures of, you know, everyone's favorite on the show, Andrew Perrin. You can just put them all in there, and then you can make like collages, Perrin collages, you know, for your desktop background. It's so easy. You can do it real quick too. By the way, we are brought to you by restream.io. Stop streaming to just one platform and start focusing on all of them. We wouldn't have been featured on the live page of DLive this morning had we not been using restream.io. I'm going to put a link in the comments. You can go there. And actually, I don't have that right. I don't have the right link. So it's going to be in the description down at the bottom. Go there, use our link, and start streaming on every single platform. In case, you know, one of them goes the way of Mixer, you have a built-up audience elsewhere. Last on our list is using bulk updater tools like Tubebuddy to bulk card, bulk description links, keyword swapping, all of it. We actually use that all the time because, like I just mentioned, we have links you know, that we have to update for sponsors and stuff like that. Instead of going to each individual episode and having to edit that, you can do it real simple using something like Tubebuddy.
Yep, looks like Perrin's got Tubebuddy pulled open here. So what you're gonna do, let me walk you through the process. You right, Perrin? You ready, Perrin? So go ahead and go into our YouTube studio. What you're gonna do using Tubebuddy, we are not sponsored by Tubebuddy. We just use this. You're gonna go, no, not dashboard. Go to the top right-hand corner of YouTube. Click YouTube Studio. There you go. And it's going to default you to the YouTube Studio dashboard. Then what you're going to do is click the Content tab on the left-hand side. Live tutorial here, friends. There you go. And then on the Content tab here, I'm going to switch to where I'm on the screen here so you guys can see it. What there is, there's a bulk miscellaneous tools button toward the top under channel, live channel content. See that bulk tools thing? Click that.
You look like a meteorologist.
I'm just pointing it really quick. So
okay, cool. So everybody can see it. Awesome. So what you can do from this menu is you can bulk change your cards. You can bulk change your descriptions. You can bulk swap out keywords in your titles. Imagine the possibilities. So what do I mean by that? So let's say the link on your Twitter changed, but you've got 500 videos on your channel, just as an example. Are you literally going to go in and click and edit every single video to change the link on your Twitter? I actually used to do that back in like 2011, 2012 on channels. It was insane. Now what you can do with bulk processing is literally find and replace text. You can click that, and then you can enter the text that you're looking to replace. Let's say the word was whatever. It doesn't really matter. Then you can enter whatever it is in here that you want to replace it with. And it will find every instance of a link, of a keyword, of anything at all. Select all your videos from your channel and just swap out that link, swap out that text, etc. So let's say today you have a different set of things you're promoting in your video description, just as an example. Yeah, you want to go ahead and replace everything with Perrin is the best. That's great. And also, Grogu is asking in Twitch chat, Perrin, when is your OnlyFans opening? I'll leave that for you to DM him about that. But what you can do is change what you're promoting in your description from year to year. What you're promoting this year may be different than what you were promoting last year or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Mass update all of those using this tool saves you literally hundreds of thousands of hours. Let's be honest, it makes it possible to link to Perrin's OnlyFans and his description across his entire channel by doing this. That's just one option. You can also do it with end screen. You can also do it with cards. So you can have, like, let's say you have a new thing you're promoting on your website, as an example, or a new playlist or a new video or another channel you want to pop up in your cards. You can mass cards everything on your channel and have that thing show up on every freaking card on your whole channel like that. Same thing with bulk end screens. You can change all of your end screens on your entire channel in the click of a button to promote a new video, to promote your second channel, etc. Just the click of a button. Tubebuddy can save you hundreds and thousands of hours and help you drive traffic, for example, to things that you want to drive traffic to without it being a huge pain in the ass. They do not sponsor this show. The link that we plug in for you guys is just an affiliate link that I get a commission if you end up buying a version of Tubebuddy later, but there are tons of free tools for you to use in Tubebuddy. This one I use, I'd say once a month. There's something on some channel I have to change by the hundreds on one of the 5 YouTube channels I currently own. Love this tool. Highly recommend it. It saves you so much time. We are not sponsored by Tubebuddy, but Tubebuddy, you know how to contact me. Back to you, Ross.
Yes, we will be back tomorrow. By the way, if you're listening on audio, do us a huge favor and go leave us a nice little rating on Apple Podcasts or whichever platform you're listening on. It's a huge benefit to us and helps us kind of move up through the rankings. All these time-saving tips mean absolutely nothing if you're not actually doing it. You can sit here and watch this video until you're blue in the face, but if you're not actually putting into work, you can't get into that rhythm, you can't get into that pattern of becoming fast at something. These are going to help you get there, but none of it matters unless you actually take the step and put it into place. We'll be back tomorrow. Got a little Viking action tomorrow, I think, boys. See you then.